Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 when I do videos on this channel, and if it is your birthday, I want to wish you a very special happy birthday. I'd sing you the song, but I think that might still be copyrighted. Anyway, I have gotten yet another car, and it is yet another Acura, and it is yet another Acura RL, but technically I never owned the other one. It was just passing through the shop while I did some repairs while I introduced two friends who purchased it from one another. But anyway, this is the 1998 RL Special Edition, and what makes it a special edition is this two-tone paint job. Not all RLs came with this, so that's partly what you get, and the other part is actually some special trim on the inside, so the floor mats and everything say Special Edition, but you can kind of see it's a little rough. It's been around the block a little bit. It's got a few bumps and bruises. Now, I don't know how many miles are on this car. And the reason I don't is because the electronic odometer is not functioning at this time. It may just need a bulb. I'm honestly not sure. But it is not working. So I don't know how many miles are on it, but in 2012 it was sold with a little over 220,000 miles on it. And it has some rust. And it's missing a badge. It's a little crusty. At one point, this was the creme de la creme. This was a really nice car. And I say that at one point. I stress at one point it was a really nice car because, well, I'll put it to you this way. The only reason I bought it is because I got it for $200. And I was hesitant to pay that. And this is part of it. Now, it does have a keyless remote, which is nice. And that does work. And the door locks do work, which is great, but if you could smell what I smell right now, you would be running away, screaming, because this thing is just gross. Let me give you a nice close-up view of the dog hair. And I don't know if you noticed the windshield, but all the nose marks. So this was not so much the driver's car, this was the dog's car. And I've already been down this road in the past. With my Subaru, for those of you that might remember. If not, I will link it down in the description. But it just never ends. It's just covered in total, utter grossness. This interior is trashed, beyond trashed, beyond trashed in every possible, utterly gross and disgusting way. In fact, I don't like to spend a whole lot of time in here because it kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. But this is the main reason I bought this. So some of you in the last video had mentioned, you said, well, Eric, the switch on the steering wheel is off, that's why it's not moving. That's not correct, because it moves just fine with the switch in the off position. What that is for the seat memory over here. So when you press the button, when you're getting into the vehicle and you've got your presets all set, this enables and disables that function. So in other words, if you are a rather large person and the other person that drives the car is a very small person and you go to get in and this switch is in the on position, this steering wheel will move and probably crush your gut until it decides to stop, which it probably won't. So you turn that off and it disables the steering wheel function of the seat memory. So that's all that switch controls. It doesn't control this movement itself. But point is, this works. And my friend's car, it doesn't work. And this, for all intents and purposes, is a parts car. However, check this out. This is like the weirdest thing. So $200, it is a running car. Yes, it does have an exhaust leak, and as I said, this is out. Maintenance required, check engine, and the ABS. I suspect the ABS might have something to do with those speed sensors I talked about in the last video. I'll link that in the description. I go over all the common problems. I have it up on the lift. This is the exact same car. That car was a 2002. This is a 98. 4 years difference. The only thing that changed, minor cosmetic changes on the body. That's about it. But it does run, and it drives, but it has no power steering, and that's why he gave up on it. He took it somewhere, and they told him it was going to be $1,600 to repair the power steering. They probably took one look at this interior, one whiff at this interior, and said, it's going to cost you extra, sir. Unloved vehicles. This is what I'm talking about. This vehicle, unloved. Well, maybe it was loved, but it's gross. And to work on something like this, why don't you stick your head up under here? For all those people that said to me, oh, Eric, it shouldn't matter what kind of condition the car is in. Well, here, get a face full of that. okay? Get a face full of that and work on this car. And tell me you don't have a certain amount of contempt for that. And that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. People that trash their cars and make it more difficult for you to do your job, that's the issue. Not that, you know, they didn't change the oil or something like that. No, it's just habitual stuff like this. You get in a car like this, and as a technician you do. People bring you all kinds of cars. Sometimes these things are full of trash, up to the windshield. And those are the kind of cars where I'm just like, I'm just gonna do what I have to do and move on. And if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine, but you need to get where I'm coming from before you get on your high horse and start telling me how to do my job. There you've been yelled at. Anyway, the thing runs. It's the same engine, same drivetrain as the other one, same kind of problem. So, Eric, why did you buy it? Well, I'm scratching my head thinking about that, and I guess because $200 is not going to kill me these days, and it's weird to say that because at one time $200 would have just been like, end of my life, end of my world. I'm so happy that's not the case now, and I could say, yeah, I'll throw down on this car. So I'll show you under the hood real quick while it's running, but as you can hear, maybe a slight exhaust leak. All right, so it runs, it drives, the power steering doesn't work. I mentioned that. Where do I go from here? Eric, what are you going to do with this car? That's a really good question. The power tilt controls for the steering wheel, those work, and my friend needs those. And if he were to purchase those new, they would be worth hundreds of dollars. So that may be where I go with that part of it. Aside from that, what happens with the rest of the car? Well, I haven't even brought it in and put it up on a lift. I wasn't really going to do that for a $200 car. Come on, I was just going to buy it and then deal with it. But the first thing I checked was to see if those steering wheel controls worked, and they do. So therefore, I know I can help my friend out, and it's a very good chance that I can make my money back because, like I said, if he went to buy those outright, they'd be hundreds of dollars. Not just what I would charge him, which could possibly be what I paid for the car. Yeah, I don't know what the fate of this one is going to be, but I will say this. It'll happen sometime in the future because I've got a fair amount to finish. I've got other projects coming up. This thing is not even on my radar. It wasn't expected or anything. But I'm happy to have it. It's going to be a fun ride, that's for sure. Anyhow, if you have automotive questions, I'm going to put a link in the description to ericthecarguy.com, so all you got to do is click it. If you wish to connect with me socially, it's Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. I'll see you next time. Bye.